Hello everyone and welcome to a speed build of an 8 sim microhome. I watched SimsStoryteller actually build a microhome for 8 Sims, and being the overachiever that I am, I decided that I needed to do the same thing. So I immediately set out into my game. I had some time off from work where I could focus on it, and I figured the easiest way to build a home for 8 Sims is to just put a cabin in a bag on an empty lot. And I can always throw a pea bush up there and it will all be good to go. So, see, the cabin in the bag, everyone can fit in that, and there won't be any problems. But now, as you can guess, that is cheating. So I did get rid of the cabin in a bag and actually build them a microhome. Now, this is not easy. A microhome, if you have the tiny living kit, you're able to do small homes, tiny homes, and microhome. A microhome is the tier one, the smallest of the tiny homes that you can have, and you can only use 32 tiles. Anything over 32 tiles, I think the next size is tiny home, and that's up to 64 tiles. So you'll see in the speed build there were a couple of times where I had put down too many tiles, not realizing it, and then had to make some adjustments to get back down to 32 tiles. You can go 32 tiles or less. I think the minimum number of tiles you can have is 4, but since we are trying to house 8 Sims, which means everybody needs a bed, and it also needs to be playable so that everyone can get to the bathroom and everyone can get to the shower and you can cook and all of that stuff. I made sure I had 32 tiles and no less, because believe me, you need every bit of space in order to make a playable house that's going to sleep 8 Sims. The other challenge is that I have seasons in my game. Now, if you don't have seasons in your game, you don't have to worry about things like thunderstorms or extremely cold weather, things like that. I have seasons in my game, so I do have to worry about things like thunderstorms and blizzards and cold weather, or extremely cold or extremely hot weather that can literally kill Sims. And they also need stuff that they can do during those times, which that's hard because you only get 32 tiles. To add to the challenge, if you create a fenced in backyard, the game counts that fenced in yard as a room, which adds to the tiles. So any room on the lot adds to the tile count. If you add another floor, the next story adds to the tile count. And the stipulation that SimStoryteller had was we cannot cheat. So there are ways that you can cheat the game, trick the game into thinking that you have not added to the tile count. So for example, if you create a fenced in backyard and you leave one tile open, rather than closing in the whole backyard, then you just draw a 1 tile long fence and click on that 1 tile long fence and move it into place. Your game is not going to count that as a room. So Little Simsy has done this several times with creating houses for many Sims, but that come in under the tile count so that you still get the benefits of a tiny home. And there are many benefits, especially for a microhome. So for a microhome, your bills are very, very low. For any of the tiny houses, they are. Your bills are very, very low. Your relationship gains are doubled. So your friendships, your romances grow twice as fast as on a normal lot. Your plants grow twice as fast as on a normal lot. And your skill gain is also doubled compared to a normal lot. So there are a lot of advantages to having Sims live in a tiny home. I like to use a tiny home for if I'm doing a rags to riches challenge. And I haven't done it in a while, but I'll make the lot a tiny home lot so that the Sim skills will go faster and their relationships will go faster and their plants and all of that good stuff. And so it makes it a lot easier for them to develop their skills and make money, especially if they're gardening and all that good stuff. It has been a long time since I played in a tiny home, and it's a lot of fun as well as super duper challenging. So now I'm trying to figure out how to put enough beds to sleep 8 Sims. And originally I had wanted the sleeping area to be up on a platform, and it looked like I would have to get rid of that in order to fit all of the beds. Ultimately, I was able to put a platform there, so most of the beds are up on the platform. And then the remainder of I think there are there's one set of bunk beds that's not on the platform. In order to do that, I did have to move the bathroom up by one tile. And you can see there, I did add the platform. So now the 3 sets of bunk beds at the very back of the house are up on a platform. I'm not sure if EA has fixed this yet, but platforms can be kind of glitchy, where if you have a room built and then you go to place a platform, the platform will erase the walls that you had already put down in that room. The easiest way to put down a platform and not have your walls get erased is you draw a room. You don't place a platform. You draw a room on the inside of whatever room it is where you want the platform to go. Then you delete the walls that you don't need. Well, no, first you draw the room, then you use the up and down arrows. You select that room and you use the up and down arrows on the left-hand side, that where you can adjust your wall height and all that stuff. And you use those arrows to create the platform at whatever height or depth you want. At that point, then you can delete whatever walls you don't need for the platform. And that avoids having to put down a platform, have your walls deleted, and then you have to redraw the walls and repaint them, and that can be a whole pain in the butt. Once I figured out how to place the beds and get the platform that I had wanted and all of that, I had to find a way to actually make the place kind of appealing to the eye. I mean, it's going to be tough if you have 4 sets of bunk beds and basically just one kitchen counter to work on. It's going to be really tough to make a space that's appealing, where Sims can actually get stuff done. They can grow their skills that don't necessarily have to do with cooking or repairing broken appliances. And believe me, if you have 8 Sims living in a house with only one bathroom and a very tiny kitchen, stuff is going to break a lot. And child, a scheduling nightmare that everyone going to the bathroom and everyone bathing is, oh, I'm not even going to get into it. So what I decided to do was make an appealing outdoor space so that at least in good weather, they would be able to spend time outside and do most of what they would want to do. So there was space in the yard for playground equipment, and they have a little chess table under the pergola. I had hoped the pergola would protect them from the elements. Unfortunately, it does not, but it does look nice. Ultimately, I could have pulled a roof out over that, and which is what SimStoryteller did. She extended her roof so that the roof covered that area, and since she did not draw walls or fence in that area, it did not count towards the tile count, but her Sims did have an area that was protected from the elements where they could be outside. She also put a pea bush in her yard. I really did not want to use a pea bush. I wanted the yard to be a pleasant space where they wouldn't have to worry about stuff stinking and all of that. So I was really picky, and I did not put the pea bush. That's why I did put a full bathroom on the inside. But I focused a lot on making a really nice outdoor area. I worked on the terrain paint, I worked on the landscaping, putting skill building items out there for all ages. I started out with one elder, three adults, one teen, and three children. One, four, five, six, seven, eight. Yes. One elder, three adults, one teen, and three children. So we needed skill building stuff for all of those age ranges. Just about all of it had to go outside just because there was no space. But I'm really happy with what I was able to do, especially with the landscaping. It helped that I did not limit my budget. I figured it was difficult enough to build a house that would meet all of these requirements and be good for 8 Sims without also challenging myself budget wise. Maybe sometime I'll do something that's budget limited, but this time I didn't do that to myself. So here I play tested, and just to make sure that the house is playable, and it is. Unfortunately, it was so playable that one of the children immediately set the science table on fire. So I had to clean all of that before I could save this lot to the gallery. And it is in the gallery as 8 Sim Microhome. I used only the base game and Tiny Living. So you have to have the Tiny Living stuff pack in order to care about tiny homes and get all of the benefits and the advantages of living in a tiny home. So I made sure to minimize my packs and only use the Tiny Living Stuff pack and base game so that anybody can download this from the gallery and use it in their game. And yes, it is play tested. It works. I'm actually playing a household now, the household that you saw there. I'm actually playing them now. Played them a little bit on stream. That was a lot of fun. So there you have it, the 8 Sim Microhome. I hope you enjoyed watching this speed build. Download this from the gallery, have fun with it, and tell me about it in the comments. See you next time.